Alright guys, so today we're going to try out this set I recently picked up on HSN. It's still available, it's just not auto ship option anymore, but it's from Crafter's Companion. I think they call it paper piecing, you know, auto ship or whatever it was at the time. I forget what they call it right now, but the initial set is going to have these two dies, and I showed these in the haul, and that's why it's already open. Whenever these items arrived, I had ordered them for like around craft day. It comes with heavyweight acetate, and it comes with this really pretty linen card pack in warm tones that are very floral. 25 of each, 5 of each, 5 colors, sorry guys. And they are 8.3 inches by 5.8 inches, so interesting sizing on that. The dies, it says this one, the largest is 3.8 by 4.8, and the other one is 3.7 by 4.7. There's only one die in each of these guys, so we'll talk about that in just a minute. But like I said, I did pick these up. I'll link them in the description box. Those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. I haven't checked to see if they're on Craft Stash, or I hardly ever order from Crafter's Companion themselves, so I never check that, but you might find them there. If it's on Craft Stash, I'll also link that info. But like I mentioned in my haul video, these kinds of dies are interesting. I really wish they would have had 2 pieces, because I didn't really watch the demo. I just saw them and I thought, oh, those are pretty designs, so I'll just buy it. Like, you know, I'm throwing things in so I can make sure that I had them for the $7.50 cart at the time. And I wish I had paid attention a little more, but with these dies, I don't know why people don't do this, or Crafter's Companion themselves. They have a lot of these kind of thing, like a silhouette die, but it's like, it would be better if it was an outer die and then the inlay that does the intricate stuff. That way you can use that outer one to help you cut the acetate or whatever paper that you need to go behind this to hold your paper in, right, when you go to paper piece. I think, oh, these are both so pretty, but I think I'm going to use this one today because it's a little more simple in design. This one has like little berries and like the leaves and like so many petals and all this center stuff. So on this one, it'll be easier for me to work with today in this video. And then the other ones, you know, I can use for something else. But a lot of the examples they show, and even I went back obviously right now to see if they were still available. I watched a little bit of the demo. Sarah's like, oh, and this, and then she had the thing, and she kind of skips to the next thing, and then shows how you piece the items back in, and then the next thing she shows you is a card with this on top. But like, what did you do with the acetate that you had set it on, right? Because she had put it on a piece of acetate to like piece in. You're gonna have to cut around that. Fussy cut. Now you might have a machine that maybe can read like black lines, you know how people do with their like scanning cuts and Cricut, and I don't know, I just don't do that kind of thing, that maybe can cut it around for you. I don't know if that's a possibility, but you're basically gonna have to cut it. So what I'm gonna do in today's video is I'm not even gonna bother with the acetate, because what's the point? You're gonna cover it up anyway. I do use acetate when I do like a shaker card, like let's say, well, we'll talk about that in just a minute, but well, no, we'll talk about it right now. So let's pretend we have this. I'm just gonna take it off of here. Obviously we're gonna use it very soon anyhow. And I just picked up these card bases at Walmart, and I thought, you know what, these will look good with what I'm gonna do here. So it's just an A2 card base, hopefully. Actually, I didn't even think about the sizing of this. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay, so let's say you have a card topper. Yeah, I'm just using this as an example, not the card, but a card topper, a piece of paper that's gonna cover this. So you run it through, and this piece is going to cut out, obviously all the little pieces will, but it's going to leave a hole, right, in the shape of this, because that's what we just ran it through. Okay. Now you can take the pretty little outline piece, like run this through a different color, and then you can paste, you know, piece it back in here. You're going to put some acetate behind that piece of paper, glue it behind so you have a huge aperture. Get your little line that you just ran through, let's say black paper. You're going to put that black paper line in there, and then you're going to run it through different colors and piece in. That's great. And then you put it on top of your card. But you just use acetate, which usually costs a little more money for what? You're not going to see it. Another thing I like to do is do the same thing with the that aperture. Put the acetate behind it, put our little line, and then just leave it that way and make it a shaker, right? So now we're popping it up, and you see through the lines that are left, right? What this does when you pop the other piece in. Okay, cool. So that's a good way to use acetate. What I'm going to do today is I think I'm going to show a different way of doing this, especially because the edge isn't super intricate. We're just going to fussy cut, guys, and I know that's not our favorite, but for me, that's what I'm going to do today. I have tons of videos of where I do stained glass, like the same thing I just told you, you put the acetate, and I color on the back of the acetate, so I'll flip that card front over, and just color in with alcohol ink markers, and it colors it in. It looks like stained glass. It's really pretty, and because you have those solid lines, even if you won't see it, like even if you color kind of messy, the little line there helps keep it from looking too messy. So that's another fun thing to do. I've done that with many different dies, including the Crafter's Companion ones. Lots of ways to do it. This is how I'm going to do it today, guys, so that's where I'm going with that. So what I'm going to do first, and I don't know, let's do white paper. I haven't done a white border in a long time for something like this, so let me run this through. Ooh, I have a scrap right here. Perfect. You know, you cut down things for like card bases or card toppers, and I still have another piece that's, you know. And what am I gonna do with this? Okay, so I'm gonna run it through, and then, yeah, just like that, possibly. Let's get this guy. I was gonna bring out that little Walmart machine I just tutorialized, reviewed. But, you know, I have other machines in front of me that are easier to access, so I'm going to do that. I was going to try to use this scrap of paper for the inside border, so I'm going to try to keep it like that. Let's run this through the marquee. Why not? I'm sure it'll be fine. And then we're going to run through those pretty linen papers, so we will use those papers. The auto ship, if you're on it, comes with 2 more dies every few months, no more papers. And then the, so see all these bits? If I was going to keep this, I would make sure those bits are like where I need them for my paper piecing later, right? But for right now, I'm just going to scrub this because I don't care about any of that. Now, there's a couple things. I'm going to do this a certain way, but again, I mean, if you just want to glue it down and fussy cut all around the edges, that would work great too. I just don't want to damage this. I want this to stay pretty and pristine and looking great. So what I'm going to do is trace this. I know that seems weird. So let me see. Oh, I stuck my finger in that. If I can fit it on here. Well, you know what? Actually, that's okay because that'll still help me. Do you think it goes this way better? I'm just trying to be, oh, there you go. Okay, a little chintzy with my paper. What I'm going to do is trace around this, and when I fussy cut it, I'm going to cut right inside the line. So you'll see what I mean. Just a second here. Let's move this out of the way. All the examples that they showed were basically where they had to have cut around it. There's no way they could have done that with, you know, sticking down. One thing I did learn from Spellbinders, though, what they like to do, and I'll show you in just a minute, is just put like double-sided tape on the back with the stickiness facing up, and just don't take the carrier off the back side. And even just little strips of it, you know, if you put a little strip like in the back, I'll show you in just a minute. And I'm just going around the edges, guys. I'm just tracing this. And when I fussy cut this, I'm going to cut inside the line so that I'm getting rid of that pencil mark. But also it nests inside my shape a little bit. Yeah, so you do the double-sided tape, and then when you pop in the pieces, it's already there. They stay nice and sturdy. You can then use, you know, dimensional adhesive to pop it up on your project if you want. So that's one way of doing it. I usually do that when it's something that doesn't have a lot of piecing, or like little small areas. You know how sometimes Spellbinders has items where, like, oh, this die has this hole, but you know, you have to pop in a different color or whatever. Okay, so there's that. Looks great still. And here's the outline. So what I was trying to say about the other one is, like, let's say you have double-sided tape like this stuff, and you would just take pieces of it and just line out the back of these guys. I'm just going to put some here. It's not going to hurt anything. But like if I had a piece there, if I had a piece going across here, a piece there across here, just every once in a while, like even across this whole thing, and it'll help you hold all those little pieces on. And on the other side, once you popped in your paper, you won't even see it, and you can just leave the carrier on it. Obviously, you don't want it to get sticky back there. Well, it depends on what you want to do. And this, the only reason I'm doing this is to pop this up. Because if we were just going to take this die and we have a card topper and we're just going to stick it down and then stick down our stuff, well, then it doesn't matter, right? You just stick this down, glue it down, and then pop in your pieces that you want, right? But what I'm showing you is how you're going to be able to elevate this, so like to pop it up, right? So let's put that to the side. Grab some smaller scissors. This is what I do with fussy cutting. And like I said, I'm going to cut inside the line because I want this to be there, but I don't want it to be visible. So I'm just kind of following along. It doesn't have to be perfect. Basically, you have like that small little ridge that it can be inside of, and it's just fine. So pretty much on the line, but just inside. And if I have a little extra later, I can maybe trim it away, but for right now, I'm just going inside the line, and I'll go around the whole thing. And this does take a little patience, as does paper piecing, so I suppose if you have it, you are a patient person. The type of person that wants to sit and watch TV and just do a little piecing. So I'm, again, inside that line. I hope you can see the line. I'm just inside of it. Because what happens is when I bring this back later and I glue it down, you're not really seeing that paper behind there. See? It's like just perfect. So, because just inside the line. Okay. I will finish that up and I'll be right back. Around town here. All right. And again, some of the little bits, you know, were cut off, but you just need something for the paper to sit on, so it doesn't have to be like super perfect. But I think that's pretty good. And I did do white on white because I didn't want to, you know, then have to worry that there's like paper that's not the right color sticking out over here or there. This one looks a little bit too much still. So let's just cut a little more of that away. And where else was it? I saw something else. Anyway, I'm gonna go around before I really glue this down and just, you know, kind of etch out whatever else looks like it might be sticking out. That looks pretty good. That's good. Oh, actually, that's not bad. Okay, I think I did okay. I mean, I can probably go around and take a little bit off of this edge right here. Okay. All right. Again, the only reason I'm doing this is so that we can pop this up. I'm just gonna go around and glue this down. So I'm just gonna take my little fine tip here and just put glue everywhere that I think it matters, and then glue this right on top of that base. Okay, guys, so this is gonna take a minute because obviously I really want it to be on here and not forget any areas. But yeah, just going around putting the glue, and we'll pop it right on top of this. I just set this on here, and this diamond press glue does give you a minute to kind of jiggle things, you know, move things around, and that looks really great. Oh my gosh. Again, it took a little time. So many different ways of doing this. You don't have to do what I do, clearly, obviously. I know whenever my channel grows, people will come in and they leave comments that are kind of like, okay, like, I don't know. But, you know, share what you like to do. I know a lot of times people say, you should do this, or you shouldn't have done that. Like, I wouldn't even tell you guys that. I don't speak that way on my videos. It's whatever you want, and that's great. And if you have a different idea, say, oh, I do it this way, and that's great. But you don't have to tell me, you shouldn't do it that way, it should be. And I get those kind of comments. I'm like, do whatever you want, y'all. It's your project. And this is just one way of getting this done. Again, to pop it up, right? So now I can have some background paper, maybe a nice die cut, maybe another die cut, I don't know. And then we have this guy. And we can piece in. So let me grab some background paper, whatever it is I'm going to do with this, and so that way we can have that kind of ready to go. And I'll be right back. I was going to put a solid paper and then maybe a die cut, but I used this the other day in my swap, and I love this trellis, Algiers Creative. So I think what I'm going to do is run it through, and let's look at these papers. I think I'm going to run it through the green paper. Then I thought, well, there's going to be greenery behind that, but that's okay. I think if I have this down, you know, this guy. And then even though there's going to be more greenery around the edge, it's just a little bit, you know, here and there. I think that's pretty. Okay, so I'm going to run this one through my die cutting machine. And this paper is really nice in that you can just, it's a nice size. It's an interesting size. So I can just run this through. And then we'll glue that down, and then we'll continue on with this guy. I'll be right back. Oh, I will say this card base is from, again, that Walmart Hello Hobby. I keep wanting to say Hobby Lobby because that's what it sounds like. But anyway, Hello Hobby. Not super thick, but not bad for a card base. And this is craft cardstock, so it's usually a little bit thicker. So I wonder how thick some of the other colors are of the card bases that they carry. But anyway, I'm just trying things out. Still thinking about that machine. You know, I like it. It runs easily. I think if you know, are on a budget, and the $80 machine I was speaking of might be great. I'll have to try it out with some more intricate dies, maybe a larger die. I just realized after I did the video and edited, I was like, oh, should have used like a big die so that we can see how it cuts, you know, the whole surface, but we'll do that another time. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be pretty. I'm just gonna glue that down so then we can move on and start finishing up. So I'm gonna get some glue again around the very edges. That's always super important. And then just some spots here and there throughout this guy. I think this die is still available on HSN for sure on Algiers Creative site. So there we go. And something like that. Okay, I'll just hold that down and I'll be right back. So we have that. We're gonna have this popped up, and then maybe some kind of sentiment, obviously, or not, whatever. Okay, so a couple things. I'm going to run through probably the greenery. And to be honest, I mean, you can run through the whole thing like I just did again, and I have that green offcut anyway, so I think what I'll do is I'll just run this through, and I'll have a green line that I can use for another project, you know, if you want. What I'm going to do is run it through a brand new folder, because I want this to stay nice and kind of flat, and so as I work on it, hopefully my pieces don't go all over the place, you know, kind of thing. There's different ways of doing this to keep things in one spot. I don't like wasting things or adding extra things just to get something done, so for me, I'm just going to do this and deal with whatever that means. Okay. Oh, there goes a little something. Okay. So when we pick this up, ooh, everything is pretty much in the die still, so that's good. So I'm going to go like that. I see this little green piece over here, so that's where I'm going to start. So this is one thing you can decide, like these bulbs, for me they should be green, right? Because generally a flower bud is like green and it opens up, right? You know, it's whatever you want. So I'm going to take a little glue, and I generally pop it down in this area. I don't try to put it on the small piece and then just kind of bring it over. And I'll do a few pieces at a time. So I know this piece already came out, right? It stayed over here. So I'm going to grab that piece. There's something on my glue. Pop it in there. And I have my other pieces that are still kind of in here, so I'll pop out maybe this one and this one, right? And if they stayed, if they're behaving, that's great. Sometimes what happens is they'll stay on your cutting surface, okay? Well, I just kind of leave them there. Wherever it is that these pieces stayed is fine, you know, with me. So now I have these green areas here. There's a spot right here. I don't know if that should be left blank or green. Let me see. Where is the cover? Does it show anything? Oh, nope. No kind of inspiration on this at all. So we'll just put that to the side for now. So you do have this little green piece here that you can decide, should it be green? Probably. If that's part of the stem, like base, I would assume it's going to be green. So I'm just going to go watch some TV, put a little glue here, 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 and just continue popping pieces in. And then we'll come back and do the flower. But I have that one piece I just popped out. There it is. And we'll just pop it right in here. Ah. Yeah, so if my piece popped out here, I'd leave it there and I'd grab it from there. If it's here, I'm going to pop pieces out as I need them. And, you know, that'll work. You can just scrub them all out if you want, all at once. And it's whatever works for you guys. And yeah, I'll just continue doing that, putting in all the greenery. So this is all the leaves, both buds. So leaf there, there's a little bit more I need to do here. Leaf here, leaf here, leaf here, all the leaves around. And I'll be back. Hey guys. Oh, yeah, that's funny. This is kind of what I was talking about, aperture. Like, let's say this was a card front, and you would have that. And you can pop in, you know, a different color. This one's obviously green in there. I think I hit everything that should be flower and should be leaves, right? I mean, if I'm looking at it, to me, everything here should be flower. Ooh, maybe, I don't know. That one's kind of suspect, but I'm gonna leave it to be part of the flower. That little tiny spot right there. All right, we need to pop this out. Oh, where is my... All right, we just need to clear this out. Now again, I have another green, you know, this big guy. Oh, that's interesting. You know, it's funny, all the little pokey holes really have to do with like the pieces, so each piece has something to poke out if you need to do that, but not really the actual line, you know, of this outer piece. So we will try to pop that out. I might have to smack it a couple times, see if it wants to pop out. Come on, buddy. Somewhere it needs to be popping out. Here we go. Ah, there we go. And we have a beautiful green outline. So I can use that somewhere else, something else. But again, if this was like, let's say pink, like the next one, you can then take it. Oops. And where is this? What? Oh, duh. I have my paper backwards. I was like, that doesn't work. You would pop it in and then maybe acetate back here and obviously shaker, or like I said, acetate, and then you color the backside with alcoholic markers. There's lots of ways to play with these guys. Okay, I don't need any of those pieces, so I'm just going to brush them aside. And this time I'm going to run it through for sure the pink paper. We do have some pretty accent like the orange and the yellow. So I mean, if you wanted to roll it through one color, roll it through another, I would put like the darker color in the center out to lighter, you know. But I'm just gonna go for, ooh, the pink. Oh, the red's really pretty. But I'll just grab the pink. And we just need enough to cover this area. It doesn't have to be everything, right? Like this area. Unless you want to just go ahead and cut the whole thing so now you'll have a pink outline if you wanted. But for me, I'm just going to cut like, yeah, right to there. And, oh, I guess I could have done it a different way, but that's okay. It'll be the same. Oh, you know what? Let's pay attention. So again, this linen paper has more of a line on one side, less on the other. And I did cut it on the side that was more of the line. So we need to get that there for sure. I just want to make sure I'm getting everything. Okay. More of the texture facing up. And same thing, I'm going to run it through. And yeah, I just sat and watched TV. It took a few minutes. And get my We Are Memory Keepers lap tray and just work. Again, I'm trying to keep it all together. It looks like everything is in here still. Some of them want to pop out, but not really. And I mean, if you really want to get rid of the pieces you don't need, we can definitely do that. Even this pink outside line, we don't need it either. But I'm just going to pay attention to these other pieces. So again, you know, as much or as little as you want to work with at one time, just kind of push them out. See what we have there. Ooh, not bad. That's almost everything. Bring this guy back. And I'll come in just a little bit. And just, you know, put down my glue. Again, I don't put down too much glue. I don't want it to squeeze out all over the place, but enough to hold everything. I think that's good for right now. I just do a few sections and just pop them in. There we go. Right in there. So I'll finish this up because they're here, and then I'll go sit down and again just maybe watch a YouTube video, TV, whatever it is. Oh, that one's an interesting shape. It kind of doesn't want to get in there, but we can. There we go. And what is this little tiny guy? Oh, he goes there. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that one. This one I have glued down. And this one. Yep, and then these two are still over here. So I'll grab those, this one and this one. And I'll pop those in. This one turned over on me. I'll turn it back over. And just keep working, guys. So again, fill all this in. Fill all this in. Same thing, just pop out the pieces I need and I'll be back. Okay, guys, so again, I'll clean this out. And, you know, I'm not going to keep any of this part. I just cut it in a funny way. I didn't cut the complete, you know, outline. So we'll get that out. I'll clean that out in just a minute here. And let's see what that looks like. And I'm thinking maybe I'm going to put an oval behind this. I don't know. I like that. I'm going to pop it up. But I feel like if we had like a creamy colored like oval or... Let me see. I have an oval in my... Ooh, maybe this. There's that Spellbinders one that has that cool shape. I wasn't saying that one might be too big because it's covering up a lot, but you know, that might work. Yeah, because this guy's barely going to poke out. Let me run this through some cream colored paper and we'll see how that looks. And I'll be right back. Yeah, why not? And I think I'll still have this down, but I feel like that's very plain, so I'm going to run this through an embossing folder. I know, we're just doing more and more. You know, I like that floral embossing folder I used earlier today, so I'm going to run it through this guy. I mean, the flowers are very similar, and this is actually Crafter's Companion. And what's funny is I had mentioned earlier in a different video, oh yeah, the video where I did the tutorial or unboxing of the Walmart, basically, die cutting machine. I had mentioned that for whatever reason with Crafter's Companion folders, the other one didn't have, well, it did have color, it was just like this. Actually, what am I talking about? It was a different video, it doesn't matter. Whenever it has the word like Nature's Garden or Crafter's Companion, you want your paper to face away from that. So obviously this is double-sided, I don't care, but let's say this side was gold and this side was white or whatever. You're gonna put it so that the gold side is facing down because the words are gonna push in, and then this is going to be the embossed side. I don't know. That's just how they do it. This one's interesting because this one does have the color on it. And I just realized it was a whole different video, not the Walmart one. But anyway, okay, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to run that through and I'll be back. Okay, so let's get this guy back over here. Very pretty. Just a little something to kind of weight that up, you know. And so I will put that down. And then this guy's going to be popped up. The whole reason we did the whole background is to pop it up, right? So let's do that. Generally, I would stick this to this and then pop it up. I suppose we still needed some background, even if we just did this. I'm trying to eyeball this left and right. That looks pretty good. I'm going to get some dimensionals on the back of this guy, and I'll be right back. So I just used the lower profile Anna Griffin dimensionals I have. Unfortunately, they're really tiny. The rest of them, like the medium and the large size that are in the bundle, are like much higher. So I wish they would all be like this height. I love the dimension on this because it's just a little something. So I put a ton of them. I don't know if I'm going to put a sentiment on this one today. But, you know, I have tons of like LGS creative ones where you have like the stack and you get a whole bunch at once, and I love those. And those are really fun, I think, to just kind of put across here, you know, whatever the sentiment might be, maybe some little pearls here and there if you want to add more. But I think for today I'm going to leave it like this. And again, you know, I don't really have anything right here sitting in front of me, but like this one just says cheers, you know, some little pieces from a scrapbook paper or like beautiful friendship. That's the name of the paper actually on this one. It's a little carrier. Or I don't know why I have random things sitting here like this. Have a sweet day. Just put that on there. You know, really cute. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, just one idea, one way of using these. There's lots of different ways of using them. You can tell me your favorite in the description there. I didn't put any like extra like coloring or again mixing and matching the colors. It looks really pretty with gold outline, you know, all those different things. But thanks for watching, guys, and I just love the texture and everything that's going on with that background, the little embossing there, and then the beautiful paper piecing. And yeah, guys, well, thanks for watching. I'll have images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.